Good morning, everybody. We're here again for another one of our fun live feeds here at the Elms. This morning we're doing something a bit different. We've actually got a live guest host today, which is a bit of fun. It's the first time we've done it, so excuses if we make some mistakes. We're on a learning curve here. So we're going to be speaking with Russ from Silverbridge Properties. I think as we go along, feel free to say hi and make any comments or add any questions that you might want to in the chat boxes. But Russ's team, I'll give you a little bit of an explanation about him and then let him introduce himself. He offers support to people wanting to sell their properties. So we first met Russ a few years back. We were aware that we had a number of people really wanting to move here, but were struggling to sell their own existing properties. And after talking to Russ and his team, we realised that there was a solution that we could offer to some of our prospective purchasers. And we sent out Russ's details to everybody, and within about a year or so, I think we had something like about 5 sales take place. So a lot of people that were sort of really stuck were able to move and get on with their lives and move here, which is what they wanted, which was brilliant. So we're going to welcome Russ now. And Russ, if you'd like to just explain a little bit about what you and your company Silverbridge do, that would be great. Hello.
Thanks, Tracy. Morning, everybody. My name's Russ. I work for Silverbridge Properties, and we're a part exchange company. We're an independent part exchange company. Basically, what we do is you come to see a property that you like at the Elms, but you've got to sell your own property. We buy your property from you as a guaranteed buyer to enable you to move to the Elms. So it's a way of breaking the chain in terms of you having to sell your property yourself and wait for a sale to occur, and then wait for that sale to go through to exchange, which obviously can be fraught with problems, especially in the current market. We've been operating for 20 years now, and it's something that developers are turning to more and more. And as Tracy said, we've supported the Elms. Yeah, I think we've moved probably up to 10 people there now into their new park homes. I've been to the Elms myself, and it's a lovely site. Very picturesque. So it's something that a lot of people want to do, and at the point they decide to go, they really want to move as soon as they can. And the part exchange, one of the main benefits of it is that it's hassle-free. It means that you've got an instant buyer, and it will go through to exchange and complete as soon as we can, obviously subject to the legalities and survey, etc. We're just to give you a bit of background about Silverbridge Properties. So we're a family-run company. As I say, we've been running for about 20 years. The sort of size of the company is probably what you would class as sort of medium-sized company. There's several people working within the part exchange department, including myself, 4 other people who are sort of the frontline staff, and then some support staff behind us. We probably do up to 200 deals a year, buying and selling and supporting the Elms for their customers, really. And as I alluded to, the market at the moment isn't fantastic, with different things going on in the country, and it's something that people look to do. When you look to move, you want to sort of get on and get it done, basically. So that's a background on it. Do you want me to talk through how we sort of get to a point of making the offer, Tracy?
That would be great. Yeah, if you could just explain. So if people are thinking, well, this sounds like a fantastic concept, what do I have to do? How does it work? And I think people are obviously more concerned perhaps about what price they might get for their property, and how you sort of work that out.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. So at the point you've seen your property at the Elms, you'll tell one of the salespeople, and obviously if you've got to sell your own property, the first point is that they will contact us to ask us to look into your property for a part exchange offer. At that point, you'll get a call from me just to introduce myself and talk you through the process. And the process is really simple to come up with the offer. We will get 2 or 3 estate agents out to value your property. If it's already on the market, we can speak to your marketing agent. And if you've already had people out, we can just speak to those agents. So it can be very quick. If the agents have got to come out to value it, we'll get them in as quick as we can. Normally within sort of 5 working days and get the offer to you, but it's a very quick process. So the agents come out, they have a look at it, they feed back to us and give us all the information we need. What we're really looking to do is value it ourselves and work out a sort of what we think is a reasonable price in the current market. Once we've got that, we submit the offer to the customer. And it's difficult to say exactly because it depends on the type of property. It depends on the risk, the perceived risk that we have on it. There's a few things that will determine this, but it's sort of generally between probably 85 to 90% of what we think the market price is. You don't have to pay estate agency fees when you do it, so there's a saving there. And if you use our panel solicitor, we will actually pay their fee as well. So say we offered 90%, once you save on the agency fees and the solicitors, it's probably actually more like 92%.
Yeah.
Now, yes, there's a financial sort of difference there between what you might be able to sell it for on the open market and the part exchange offer. But what it does do is, if you accept the offer, you've got a guaranteed buyer, and we will exchange with you as soon as we can. Unlike if you put it on the market yourself, you've got to wait for a buyer to come along. You then got to wait for that sale to exchange contracts. And that can be fraught with problems because people pull out of chains at the last minute and that sort of thing. So we deliver the offer to you. You've got 14 days to consider the offer. All that really means is that the price that we offer you is open for 14 days.
Yeah.
If the customer came back to us after, say, 3 months, all we would do is review it just to see if anything's happened to the market.
Yeah.
It might have gone up. We sometimes increase the offers if the market's increasing, which hopefully, excuse me, after Brexit it will. The offer could increase.
Yeah.
It really depends. But the 14 days is a period where you can come back and say yes. After that, we'll review it. But if you do say yes, we'll speak to you again, get it into solicitor's hands, and let the legal process take place. And as I say, we look to exchange between, we try and exchange 6 weeks from when our solicitor receives the draft contracts. That normally means probably 7 weeks from the date that we actually agree to buy it. And we're complete to order. So it may well be that the customer wants to complete on the same day as exchange, which we can do. It may mean that they want a month between exchange and completion to get themselves ready to move. The type of customer profile is generally they've lived in the property, in their current property for quite a while, and they've got a lot of sort of sorting out to do, etc. So sometimes a longer gap between exchange and completion will suit them. Sometimes not. It depends sort of what their situation is really. We try and be as flexible as we can. That's one of the things we try and sort of offer is flexibility in terms of, you know, if they might have some stuff sort of left in the property that we can sort of clear out. We also offer what a lot of people like is what we call a 2-week license to occupy.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. So unlike a normal sale, they can actually stay or have the keys for both properties. So on the day of completion, when we legally own their property or their old property, and they own the property they bought from the owners, they can actually have keys for both. So they can either stay in their old property, which we're actually the owners of, for up to 2 weeks, or they can move on that day and then just move their stuff over the 2-week period. They can go back, and a lot of people like that because it means they've got total flexibility in terms of moving bits and pieces about and that sort of stuff.
It's very, very stressful, I think, having to complete and move out, and we see it here a lot, people worrying about monies transferring over in time for them to be able to move in here. So I mean that really would be, if I was moving, I'd like that to be able to, because a lot of people are downsizing as well, so that, like you say, they've got quite a lot of things to sort, things to process, to to one side, you know, move it to different places even. So that, I think that's a brilliant bonus of what you offer.
Yeah, well, people really like it because it just means they've got complete flexibility. And who wants on the day of completion, who wants someone banging on their door trying to get in and it hasn't completed and the keys aren't ready and you don't get until 4 o'clock and it's all panic, you know, as you say, the sort of age profile of the client we're dealing with and the properties they're coming from, they like that bit of extra time. They want to go back and sort of clean it and their old property and make sure it's fit for someone else to live in. You know, it's just gives them absolute flexibility on it, really.
And planning for the day as well, because I know even down to things like booking removers, you know, you often don't know until sort of 2 days before you're going to complete. You know, you've got your removers all lined up with various prospective dates. Yeah. Sometimes you know, they're even struggling to finalise details with removers at the last minute. So it's a really time.
Yeah, it can be pretty stressful. And again, that's one of the benefits of part exchange. It takes that stress out of it. That you know, there isn't a sort of a stressful sort of period when you're, you know, that period normally between exchange and completion can actually be the most stressful time.
Yeah, it's all the uncertainty around it.
Yeah.
Is it going to fail? Is it going to fall? Do I put the removers? Well, you know, and it is that, like you say, that last phase is very different. People arrive here and they're like, oh, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of, you know, when I talk to people who are just about to move, they've got boxes and stuff everywhere and they're, you know, they're relying on the removal people. Yeah, it can be quite a torrid time, I think, to be honest. And like I said, you know, your site is really quite picturesque, and I think really they see themselves just sort of moved in and sort of feet up type of thing. But there's definitely a period before that can be a bit stressful. We try and take that away from them a little bit as much as we can.
Yeah, no, it's great. It really is great. And I know that you know, sometimes we haven't always been able to make a good fit for our customers. You know, it doesn't always work. But like I say, we had a real kind of backlog of people desperate to move, and as soon as we started working with you, it just went, they all just managed to go through. And it was, like you say, it's the speed, the flexibility, and the removal of quite a lot of stress is plus, I think.
No, right. Yeah.
The market's quite quiet then, isn't it, at the moment, generally?
Yeah, I mean, I can say a bit about that. I'll try not to be too negative, to be honest. But it's very strange. I think over the last, I don't know, probably 9 months, I would say it's really sort of bitten. Just the market is volatile. The one thing I can say about it is completely price sensitive.
Yeah.
You can have a property, you know, we've had them where we buy them in ourselves, so we think, right, yeah, it's going to be an easy one to sell. And they're just not selling because it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. So, but at the point you get to the right price point, it will just sell. Weirdly, it will just go. But trying to find that right price point, it can be tricky.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about putting it on, getting the try and be as positive as you can on the price, because if you start off too high, you'll always be tracking the market at a too high level. You've got to try and be as positive as you can to sort of say, right, I want to sell it. This is it. This is the price I want to sell. And I would say to anyone who's speaking to an agent about selling themselves, say to the agent, I want to move. I don't want to put it on the market to see what happens. I want to sell it, you know, and I want to move to the Elms. That's where I want to go and get it going, because they won't. I've got years of experience with estate agents. I started an estate agency in 1995 myself, and they will tend to, if they come round, they value it and they give you a price that's maybe a little bit overinflated to try and get it on the market. In a better market, that's okay, because it will, you know, the price will probably catch up. In the current market, the seller is chasing the price. Yeah, it's the other way around. So yeah, it's been a bit troublesome. I think, you know, a lot of people are saying it's Brexit, and it may or may not be. Don't think anybody really knows, to be honest. But it's
we noticed just general ups and downs, and we tried for years to track and figure out why, and it just is the way things fall. But I noticed as well, in terms of property prices, that particularly if somebody's put their property on the market at a time when prices were a little bit higher, it's very hard psychologically for people to then realise that that was a perceived value, not a true value. they've had their house on the market for 3 years and are facing the reality of dropping them. It can be a difficult, like personally, a difficult jump for people to get through, can't it?
Yeah, it can. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, there is that. I mean, you go. So an agent will come in and they tell you to put it on the market for X amount. You put it on, and it doesn't sell, and then you sit there wondering what's going on. You know, because they won't sort of phone you and say, "Oh, yeah, I think we've got the price a bit wrong. We need to reduce it by 10 grand." There, just let it sit there. So you have to be really proactive.
Yeah.
In terms of trying to get the property sold, you constantly have to be sort of choose an agent that's right, that you feel you get on with, and it will give you that feedback to get it sold.
Yeah. Good. So in terms of when our customers are buying homes here, is there a difference for you in terms of whether it's a new property or whether it's a pre-owned property in terms of any fees or anything your end? I don't know.
Yeah, there is a difference. I mean, we're a new homes part exchange company. So if it's a sort of property that's already been owned on your site, then we would need to know that, so we can just make the offer accordingly. Yeah. That's what we would need to know. There's not a massive difference, but just a slight tweak that we need to make our end.
Yeah, sure.
You know, and if it's a new home, then the same thing. We sort of need to know that. Either way, it can make a very slight difference, a subtle difference that we would need to know about.
Yeah, cool. Well, Emma, have we had any questions come through? No, nobody's got any questions.
Come on. It's probably worth me saying then that we will buy anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
We'll buy any type of property, so freehold, leasehold, house, bungalow, chalet, flats. As far as we're concerned, everything has a value, and it's up to us. Our valuation process decides what the value is, and then we can offer accordingly. You know, so we've bought in Scotland. I don't expect most of your customers come very far, but we've bought in Scotland. We've actually bought on the Isle of Man a couple of times. So we look at anything. So and it's
UK only though, not abroad.
Say that again, Tracy.
UK only though, not abroad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You have the odd resident that moves from abroad, but that would be such an unfamiliar market, I suppose, for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And to make the offer is free and there's no obligation. So it's worth anyone getting the offer, because they might think, oh, actually, that works.
You may as well have it on the table. You don't have to accept it, do you?
Yeah, well, I would say so. I mean, our business is sort of, you know, we make umpteen offers a day, really, and you know, some are agreed and the others aren't, and that's fine by us. So there's no problem in us doing that. So
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. First Facebook Live session. Yeah, come on. No, surely someone has got a question. Come on, Emma.
Make one up. What's the weather like there today?
Yeah, well, here it's a bit cloudy, it's a bit stormy and a bit horrible, to be honest. But yeah. Come on, someone must have one. I'll put a shirt and tie on for this. Come on.
You look very smart. We're impressed. Well, it's been lovely to spend some time with you this morning.
Thank you. It's been great.
For agreeing to do this. It's been a bit of fun.
Yeah.
A learning curve, and very informative, I'm sure, for everybody that's tuning in. And we always say these are available ongoing on our YouTube page, website, Facebook, and I'm sure you're going to share at your end.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, and we're just going to show your contact details at the end so everybody knows how to get in touch with you. But obviously, you know, they can get your details through us as well. So
thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It's been great.
Absolutely brilliant. No problem. Thank you very much. So tell everybody then that we're going to be talking about next time are park homes a depreciating asset and what is the 10% all about. But that's it from us today. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.